Hello and welcome. In this explainer, we're going to break down the blueprint of a really powerful standard, ISO 37301. I want you to think of it as the architectural plan for building a truly rock-solid compliance system, for any organization out there. This explainer is produced by EasyPathUni in coordination with Yazan Ibrahim. So, let's get right into it.
Today, we're covering the core requirements, the structure, and all the key clauses of ISO 37301. But don't worry, this is not going to be some dry textbook reading. We're going to use real-world examples to make sure every single concept clicks, and you can see exactly how it all applies in the real world. So at the very heart of ISO 37301 is something called the Compliance Management System, or CMS for short. What is that, really? Well, it's the framework an organization builds to handle all its compliance obligations. This isn't just some dusty rulebook sitting on a shelf. It's a living, breathing system of policies, goals, and processes, all working together to keep the company on the straight and narrow. To see how this whole system comes together, here's our game plan. We'll start with the universal blueprint that actually all modern ISO standards use. Then we'll walk through how to lay the foundation, how to put those plans into action, and then how to check and improve the entire structure. Finally, we'll look at the huge advantage you get from building it this way. Okay, first up, the universal blueprint. What's so cool about this is how ISO has created a common language for all of its management standards. It's called the high-level structure, or HLS, and it's basically the secret sauce that makes everything fit together so perfectly. And here it is, that universal blueprint. The HLS has 10 clauses. Now, the first 3 are really just setting the stage. The real engine, the part that does all the work, is right here in clauses 4 through 10. And what's amazing is that this exact same structure is used for quality standards, environmental standards, safety, you name it. We're going to focus on what these key clauses really mean for building our compliance system. So, why should you care about this consistent structure? Well, because it creates massive efficiencies. I mean, imagine trying to build a car where the engine team uses metric, the body team uses imperial, and the electronics guys just made up their own system. It would be total chaos, right? When all your management systems speak the same language, you can integrate them seamlessly. No more doing the same work twice, no more conflicting rules. It is a huge, huge win for any organization. Now let's start building, and we're going to begin with the most critical part. The foundation. Just like with a house, you can't start putting up walls without a solid base. And in our CMS, that solid base is built with clauses 4 and 5. Clause 4 is all about understanding the world you're operating in. A compliance system for a small tech startup in Silicon Valley is going to look way different from one for a huge manufacturing plant in Germany. This clause makes you look at everything, internal and external factors, identifying who your key stakeholders are, like regulators, customers, and employees, and it forces you to make sure your compliance system is perfectly aligned with where your company is trying to go. Next up, Clause 5, Leadership. And look, let me be crystal clear on this. Without genuine buy-in from the very top, any compliance system is just doomed. This is not just about signing off on a policy. It means top management has to actively champion compliance, give it the resources it needs, and build a culture where doing the right thing isn't even a question. It's just how things are done. All right, foundation's poured, we've got our context, and our leadership is on board. Now we can start building the main framework. This is where we put all those plans into action, using the core building blocks from clauses 6, 7, and 8. These 3 clauses, they work together like a well-oiled machine. Clause 6 is all about being proactive, looking down the road to spot risks and set clear goals. Clause 7 gives you the support, making sure your team has the right training, the right tools, and the right communication to get the job done. And then there's Clause 8, Operation. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's about actually implementing the day-to-day processes that ensure you're meeting your obligations. Okay, so the structure is built. But is it any good? Is it strong? Will it actually hold up under pressure? That's what this final phase is all about, checking and improving the system. You can think of clauses 9 and 10 as the system's ongoing stress test and its maintenance plan. Clause 9 is about performance evaluation. I mean, how do you even know if your system is working? You have to monitor it, you have to measure it, you have to analyze it. And you do that with things like internal audits. For instance, a simple audit of your procurement process might uncover a risk you never even knew existed, like accidentally paying the same vendor twice through different systems. This is exactly how you find those hidden weak spots.
And, finding one of those weak spots leads us right to Clause 10, improvement. The goal here isn't just to patch the hole you found. It's about digging in and understanding why that hole was there in the first place, and then taking real corrective action to fix the process so it can never happen again. This builds a culture of continuous improvement, making sure the CMS doesn't just survive, it actually gets stronger over time.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second and look at the really big picture here, the integrated advantage. We've seen how the blueprint works, but its real power, its true magic, comes from using that one blueprint for everything instead of a messy pile of different, conflicting plans.
This just shows the difference so perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way, separate, siloed systems that just create confusion and wasted effort. But on the right, with that integrated HLS approach, you get a single, unified framework. And suddenly, everybody's speaking the same management language, which unlocks a whole new level of efficiency and clarity. It's a game changer.
So, we'll leave you with this one last thought. Building a compliance management system using the ISO 3731 blueprint is a fantastic thing to do. But the real question you have to ask yourself is, have you built it to last? A truly great system isn't a static monument. It's a living thing, designed from the ground up to adapt, to learn, and to continuously get better. So, is your system built to evolve?